Hello everybody, I am Panda Pops and today I'm doing something I've not really done before, which is a kind of reaction video to the AMA from Mirandus. So I'll be putting up a few of the clips from me reacting to the most recent AMA from the Gala Games team on the latest game that they're bringing out, which is Mirandus, will be a RPG game on the blockchain. It's super exciting. It's in the very, very early stages. It has the sort of like World of Warcraft, RuneScape type vibes going on with it, which I like. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very, very excited over this. So much. A little bit before we get started with it, currently there are the only lot of land deeds for sale. So there will be different types of deeds that you can have, with different size plots on them. They have announced that these are the only lands that will be in the game. They won't be bringing in any more land. They won't be adding other sales for land deeds. This is it, and they've said this a lot of times that this is literally the only land, like the deeds. They do also have building plots for sale, not building plots, sorry. They also have buildings for sale, so different types of buildings such as archery shops, mills, and stuff like this in varying sizes, in varying prices. From what I have heard, and I may be incorrect, so don't quote me on it, is that they're doing half of the buildings now and then another half later. However, the current buildings are 100% of what they have of these. So if I'm right, and please someone correct me if I'm not, the next lot of buildings that they bring out will be completely different buildings. So bear that in mind when looking to maybe buy a plot. It's exciting. I will do another video of me generally just talking about Mirandus and my thoughts on it separately. But yeah, let's get into some of this AMA. But right before we get into the AMA, there's something really important that you've got to do. You got to tap that like button. In fact, don't just tap it. Don't just tap it. Smash it. Give that like button a huge smash. It'll make you happy. It'll make me happy. It'll make the whole blockchain happy. So definitely smash that like button and also subscribe if you haven't already.
So we're going to do that in a few different areas, but having the world be kind of a living simulation, I think, is automatically going to heal a lot of what makes other MMOs boring. You won't know where monsters are, and you won't know where creatures are in the forest, because we won't know. In these other games, and in typical software development, you pick a point over here in this world, and you say, okay, this is where we're going to spawn this guy and these three other support guys. They're going to be standing around a fire. If you kill them, they're going to respawn again in 5 minutes.
Interesting.
That means everyone knows everything that's going to happen all the time. That means dungeons, you know exactly what's going to happen. Yeah, up here in the room on the left, there's 3 guys. Over there in the room on the left, there's 2. Avoid the room on the right. It sucks. The treasure chest sucks. You just know everything.
Okay, a little on that. So yeah, 100% agree right there. The fact that, like, if you know when a monster's gonna spawn, or you know exactly where a chest is or something like that, it can get really boring. But not just boring, it gets predictable for everyone, to the point where you'll go to the spawn area and you'll find 10 other people are camping it, and then you don't get a look in. So the fact that it's going to be random, I don't know how they're going to make it random. I'm no gaming programmer or anything like that. I'm guessing it's incredibly difficult for them to not even know, for it to just be completely random where they're going to spawn. But I love that idea. Absolutely love it. It'll make exploring just that little bit more dangerous. And you will feel the need to adventure more as well. 100%. bet you anything you would want to go look in this area of a cave that you haven't looked in before, because there might be a chest, because who knows? So it allows that expansion of exploration and unpredictability. Brilliant. Love it. Absolutely love that.
So I think permadeath, and let's define permadeath for a second. And I think what you're
Permadeath,
asking
yeah.
is, um, I go through the character creation process. I enter the world. Maybe I'm even level 30 or 40. I'm very high power. I got all my gear. I got everything. Um, and a rock falls on me. Do I have to go back to the character creation process and completely start over? The answer to that is no, because
Perfect.
that's
Perfect.
just that's probably a little too hardcore. I feel like
Definitely.
that might not
Definitely
be
too
fun.
hardcore.
Also, there's
100%.
a grand array of glitches and bugs that can possibly occur um, in a game or just with your internet connection. I don't think anyone would want to build up a cool character. Their internet drops for a second, and when they log back in, they're dead. They've lost everything, and they have to start the game completely over again. Um, so I definitely wouldn't go that hardcore because I think it just sucks. Um, there's other things I've seen I mean, even in World of Warcraft, when they first came out, there was places you could just kind of fall off on a cliff and you're stuck behind a rock. You can't move.
Yeah.
If there's permadeath and there's monsters nearby, you're stuck behind a rock. It's the same kind of thing. You could die and lose everything. So, our game will be about as bulletproof as we can make it, but in case you lose your internet connection, in case there's just maybe a glitch in some of the level terrain, I think permadeath would just be too hardcore and probably just too sucky of a mechanic. There
Okay.
will be there will need to be significant penalties for dying, and I
Agree.
haven't settled on exactly what
100%.
those are yet, but
You gotta have something.
if there aren't significant penalties, you won't care about running out into a dark forest. And when you see a hero who's high level and has really great gear, it's nothing to be respected. It's just, oh, in other games, it's like, oh, well, he's obviously played a shitload. Can I say cuss words? I probably shouldn't say cuss words on this, should I? It needs to be seeing a high level player and someone living and surviving and leveling up to become a true great hero in the land of Mirandus needs to be a big deal. I'd say the game will get as hardcore as you want it, depending on how hard and deep you want to start probing into dungeons and what high level monsters do you want to try to go for. And the more risk you put yourself in, the greater the reward. But um,
Yeah, I'm
when
not a
you
risk
die, you're
player.
not going to
I'll
lose
grind for the
everything.
people that
You're
want
not going to lose
want
everything.
the stuff that they can't be bothered to go get while
You're
they do
certainly
the
not going
hard
to lose
stuff.
anything you have on the blockchain, right? I mean, we couldn't claw that back from you guys even if we wanted to. So there's no way to leave behind not really, there's no way to leave behind a sword that you own. You'll
Interesting.
still kind of have that gear forever. But it's possible that you could lose the things that you've acquired on that particular journey or mission unless you made it back in there, found your body again. I wouldn't rule out pretty severe penalties for
Oh,
quest. Maybe you lose experience points when you die. That alone made me scared to walk around the world of EverQuest.
okay, so just my thoughts on that bit in particular. So that was a long bit, and as you can see, there was some buffering there. It's because they themselves forgot to record it, and someone else did it. So I think that's where they had some ads or something had popped up, and that's why that happened. But yeah, permadeath. I think this is probably one of the biggest topics, especially when it comes to blockchain games, and especially when it comes to one where there's going to be crafting and like some sort of economics involved within the game, because there does need to be penalties. 100% agree. Love the fact that they don't want to make it so, you know, you have to start straight from scratch. I fully believe there is a super fine line between I fully believe there's a really fine line between making a game too easy that, you know, the people that have invested or can put a lot of money into it are so high, and, you know, but also at the same time that the really easy players are like up there with the same people that have invested loads, to then making it so hard that it can put off people from playing. Like, you know, if you put in a ton of hours and then all of a sudden you die and you have to create everything all over again, it can get frustrating, especially if it happens a few times, and it will put a lot of people off, and especially new people that want to test it out, check in with it, and see how they like it. If they find it too hard for that, then it can be really, really off-putting. But from what they're talking about and what it seems like the route they want to go down, I feel like they're getting a really nice balance, especially with the idea of penalties. Personally, for me, I would like to see there be some sort of maybe durability on swords or something like that. If you create a sword and it becomes an NFT, maybe there's a durability on that, like you've got to keep it sharp, or if you die, maybe the durability on it goes down, and that way it would keep the economics for crafters to stay in play, because at some point everyone will have almost everything. So there's got to be some sort of penalty where like the durability on something maybe goes down and it might break and you need to get it fixed, which will then allow, you know, people to fix it. Or maybe collecting the resources aren't worth it. It's easier for you to buy the exact same sword with full durability from the weapon shop, or bow and arrow from the archery. But yeah, I like the way they're heading with it. Yeah, it seems good. It seems like they're thinking on the right balancing act right there.
So that should be helpful. Hey Jason, let me answer a question I just saw in here. Go for it. Do you have something in mind for shared NFTs? I the way that I think about it is we want to create a platform for people to do what they want to do. So if we succeed at this, you can create your own shared NFTs. We won't be having to do anything on our end because you'll have the power and you'll have the control on your end to do what you want with it.
Yeah, there's when you guys own things, and that's pretty awesome.
It
Um,
is,
and to
especially
riff
when you
on that
make
with
it
Eric for a
yourself.
second, there's lots of things that we've discussed. Again, we're trying to simulate a fantasy world. If you woke up tomorrow and you were in a fantasy world, what would you be able to do? And that's really what we're going to try to do. And if you owned something in that world when you woke up in the morning, could you lend it to a friend, or could somebody rent it from you, or could you gift it to somebody? Or we're trying to do that. We're trying to do that. And that was
So that was a really short little bit there, but let's touch on that. So it is great that that's the way they want us to go, to be able to create our own NFTs, trade amongst ourselves. That's definitely where you're going to see the economics of the game really explode when there's that happening. But also, let's take this time to comment down below just what they said here. If you were to wake up in a fantasy world, what would you want to do? Honestly, put down in the comments. I would love to see what you guys would want to do. If you woke up in a fantasy land, Skyrim, wherever in your mind, what would you want to be able to do? Where does your imagination take you? And I will also share my thoughts on what I'd love. And what I would love is for that like button to get obliterated. So grab your swords, grab your bows and arrows, and destroy that like button. But seriously, if I was to actually answer that question, as I think I mentioned earlier, when I play games like this, I definitely like to sort of stay out the way a little bit. I'm more of a range fighter, so bows and arrows, magic, if there's a magical element, I definitely like to be at the back where I can either do some decent kiting or I can flee. But yeah, bows and arrows, so I already know there's going to be archery in it because they have an archery shop. But also potions. So I would love there to be a possibility to put, if I crafted maybe some arrows and go to a potion shop or have my own potion shop and make some poison, like a poison potion, and to combine those two to make poison arrows. That, to me, that's what I would like. Bows and arrows for me. Anything to do with bows and arrows, range, whatever. And cute pets. I would like there to be some sort of monster that maybe you can tame, and I would have it as my pet.
Player base size compared to Townstar, and do you have any more big partnerships that are aimed at getting more RPG people in, especially from outside crypto? This is a very important question because it really kind of centers on what we are trying to do. A lot of game companies that are focused on blockchain gaming have a focus specifically on only blockchain people. For us, we're always game first. Okay, so it's all about creating a good player experience, about creating awesome games, and about developing something that people really, really, really want to play. So, players base comparison, I would say comparing the daily active users of Townstar to what we want things to be in the future, it should be significantly larger because, you know, Townstar is right now still kind of in the blockchain gaming space. We want this to be
Definitely agree on that.
exponentially larger in terms of the number of players who are able to play. So
I think it's worth mentioning, Jason, how many unique visitors we had to Gala last month.
We had almost 700,000 unique visitors
It's
to
definitely a
our
lot.
website and to our platform last month.
That is a lot.
So, you know, not
Right, I'm just going to stop there. I know previously I've gone to the other screen, but I've not got too much to say on this, so I'm going to just keep it like this. So, 100% agree with the fact that, from what I can tell, they are going for a great user experience. From what they've been talking about and the information given on Mirandus so far, it does seem like they are definitely thinking on more on the lines of how to make a great RPG with blockchain elements, rather than how can they create a great blockchain game and throw some RPG in as an afterthought. You can definitely tell that it's the gaming experience first, from just what they've released, how they're talking about it, what they want to implement. And this is one reason why I am so excited for this, because yeah, from when I play blockchain games, I'm definitely looking more for a great playable experience, and earning money is just a bonus from it. If I can earn a bunch of money but I'm not enjoying what I'm playing, then I end up not really wanting to put the effort in, because it just doesn't seem as much worth my time.
Somebody was asking about timelines. I know we had talked a little bit about
timelines,
call
roadmap.
Yeah, I mean we're hoping to be playing Mirandus internally, and maybe even be able to invite some people to be coming in and playing by the end of this year.
That is exciting. By the end of this year,
but I think we've got some pretty solid plans to expedite the development process.
Right. Quickly on that, super excited. If you don't know already, usually when they want to test things internally, they go for their Gala Gold members. It's just a one-off fee to become a Gala Gold member, and that sort of gives you really, really good perks. So join their Discord. I will link their Discord in the description below, as well as linking their Gala Games website in the description too. So you can definitely check that out if that sounds like something you want to look into, be a part of. But yeah, it's like $10, I believe. And it's just literally you pay that and you're Gala Gold. It's not a running cost, just one-off Gala Gold fee, and yeah, it has some nice perks.
I have my own question, which is, can towns be basically invaded by the
creatures?
The creatures.
That's an interesting question.
Like if I place my town too close to a dangerous area and I don't have enough defensive structures just to protect it, what happens?
So I think of this as the answer to that is it is a possibility. I believe. I think it just has to be.
I would like it to
what
be.
We would do is
personally,
we would have a system in place by which there's kind of a fear factor. Like if you go out into the woods, how often do you actually get to see a wolf in the woods? They see you coming far before you see them. So I think that creatures in general aren't going to like big open spaces and walls, and they're going to just shy away from it unless they get really hungry. If there's a lot of them, they're going to get more bold. If they're getting really hungry, maybe they even feed on animals that live in the wild. And if the population of the town has taken all their food, then the monsters are going to get really hungry, not have any food. They're going to get more bold, more desperate. And I think you would, start seeing them want to, raid a town. They're going to be discouraged by it. Now, let's say you have a citadel. You're going to have these massive citadel walls. That's going to be extremely discouraging. And I can't imagine, maybe there'll be a creature or two in the game out of some sort of legendary ancient class that would consider getting near the town like that. But if you have if you got a farming or ranching hamlet and you put it near a dungeon, I mean, you're probably you're gonna get some monsters rolling through and killing some livestock and killing you. That's our thoughts on that.
Okay, right. I love that. I think this is where we're gonna end it right there with my thoughts on that little bit there. So there's a little bit more. Obviously, you can check out the full thing on their YouTube. It's Gala Games, so definitely check their full video out on there. But yeah, towns being invaded, something I love the idea of, definitely needs to be implemented in some way or form, and the way they seem to be thinking about it makes total sense to me. It seems as if they're going for that sort of realistic vibe to it, like in real life. For example, if you destroy an animal's habitat, or you take a bunch of animals' food away from them, they get hungry, they become braver or more desperate, and will attack a nearby village and whatnot. It's uncommon, but when an animal's hungry, that it does happen. And it seems like that's their thinking. It's like, well, that happens in day-to-day life, so why not add it into a game? If a monster no longer has, or if a wolf no longer has any rabbits because you've been out hunting them all, he's going to be getting hungry, especially if I think I might have cut that bit out, but they said about maybe a breeding system with some of the monsters, so more monsters would, appear in certain areas if they aren't, taken care of. But yeah, it makes sense. They get hungry, and they're, you've got some cows on your ranch, and he's hungry. Well, what's he gonna do? He'll go take it. So definitely like that idea. Obviously, different properties have different types of wall structures, like they said. Just a little summary, and I've said it a lot. I'm so excited for this. So excited. Now, please do let me know down below. I've been thinking maybe I should share what I have invested within blockchain games, like, you know, what sort of deeds, like as example for Mirandus, what do I own that is Mirandus, what blockchain items. So let me know down in the comments if you're interested in me doing a sort of little show and tell, I guess. Like, great points. They do also say about making the AMA, just in case people don't know what an AMA is, it's Ask Me Anything, a little bit more regularly. I believe this is like the first one they've had for Mirandus, and they gave us a lot of information. There was a lot said, and even just in the bits I've covered, I feel like that in itself was a lot of information. And just watching the AMA got me more excited. So yeah, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and whatever else you want to do, comment. That's the one. Have a good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. Goodbye.